Just magic. Beautiful.
Okay, up again.
7:30 and we are ready to leave. Quite chilly this morning again. We are sealed in our tent. Well, we were. Where is Captain taking us today?
We are going south to Deltaville. Also, I've calibrated the speed.
We are certainly going to miss this place. It was very pretty and very nice people. Thanks for cleaning the windows.
Oh, we had to see where we're going.
Hours into the journey, still motoring, not a breath of wind. And Glenn over there is listening to the weather forecast. And what do you know? From thermal jacket to shorts. 6 hours into the journey.
Looking right at the back window instead. Got a special cover. What do you think of that? Double glazing. Now to more domestic projects. This is going to be our new lamp. Look at that. One dog bowl, one lampshade, whole bunch of bits, rechargeable battery. See how we go. And the cockpit light is coming together. Look at that. That's quite cute, isn't it? I know everyone's going to look at it and say, why didn't you just buy one from a shop? Well, you can't buy 12 volt, battery operated, battery goes in here, lamps.
Another beautiful sunset after a long day of motoring. It's 5 p.m. only. I have a new lamp. Can you switch it on?
Switching it on.
Oh, I don't know what's prettier, my new lamp or the sunset.
Oof, I know which. You. Mwah.
Oh, this is so nice. I have light in the cockpit. What do you know?
And this is the business end. Drone battery, switches. But we'll hide all that under there, like that, you see, on a nice rubber pad.
Still half an hour to go.
I'll be anchoring in the duck, I think. Do you want to see my light? Ding! I can't look at it, otherwise I'll lose my night vision.
The things you do for me.
I sure do.
6 p.m. only. And it's pitch black already. Don't you just love the winter time? Not?
Yellow in?
Yellow in the water. And we are in for the night. It's pitch black, I need light.
Oh, please put the light on, if you can find it. It's cozy, isn't it?
I love it.
So cool. We've been collecting this lamp for years. We started with the battery from Dubai, then we had the switch from Gibraltar, then we had the stem from Long Island, we had the base of the dog bowl from Canada, we bought this in Walmart, the bulb came from UK bedazzled, and the light fitting on the top came from Romania, Bucharest. So having collected them all, it finally got put together today.
This is where we anchored last night. We didn't get to see. It was all nice, calm, quiet, not a ripple in the water. Now it's windy, 14 knots, and we are going to make a move in a few minutes. Leaving Deltaville after an overnight stop. Only just dropped the anchor 2 minutes ago, and and Glenn is restless to sail.
Getting ready for sailing. Yeah. Sailing. Didn't sail for a while.
Almost 6 weeks now. And we have good wind.
Got the hell to.
It's going to be the warm-up before the Atlantic with no waves.
Cozy in here. Although we're going to have the wind coming in today from behind.
Now it's blowing.
Blowing from behind, but I've put the fenders there so you can sunbathe on the back if you want to. Won't be any wind. Not really sun either, mind you.
Motoring into 20 knots of wind. Quite bouncy. We haven't sailed for so long that we forgot to tighten the halyards again. Oh, he's gonna get so wet.
We are passing this little boat here, and just to show you how rolly it is, he is rolling. Look at him. Whoa! Who would have thought that Chesapeake would have been this bumpy? And you're only 8 meters deep, and it's blowing force 6 to 7. So in the cockpit, we are very snug. Now, it's a different story down below here, where Wana was wiping up a suicide kettle that fell off the side, full of water. I did say it might be a bit bumpy, but I didn't think it would be this bumpy. So we're in the main Chesapeake now, and who would have thought the Chesapeake would have been a rolly old sea? We are rolling like a dog. It's about 20, gusting 25 knots. So we're just going with the Genoa up into the morning sun. It's just peeked through. And it's kind of pulling us along about 7 knots. Not breaking any speed records, but don't want to break anything on the boat either. We'll do that in the Atlantic if we're going to do it anywhere. Looking back, I wouldn't want to be going that way. Oh, no. The dinghy's on the bow, ready for the Atlantic. Hopefully this will be the last sailing day in brown water. Here's the bunny. She's still smiling, which is good. Let's put another couple of meters on those waves and see what it does. What do you think? Is it nice to be sailing again? Better sailing than rolling under motor anyway.
Wind is dropping, so is our speed. At this rate we are not taking over any boats. So we are getting ready to rig the pole, pull out the Genoa and unfurl the main. Genoa sheet onto the outside of everything. Ooh, we are rolling.
The other one, maybe. The winch. More. Every time I do this, I screw it up. Can you come and hold this?
Take 2, now that the lines are good. Lines outside of everything. Let's see if we get this right. the NOAA sheet ready. Looks like it might clear up.
Always forget something, the halyard.
Retainer on. And we are up from 6 knots to 7.5.
Nice. This is a good sail plan for 20 knots. 8.5 knots now. Smoking! Can't stand just dawdling around, can we? Whoa! Sail plan into the sun. Main out, retainer on, genoa poled, genoa sailing slightly by the lee, which is good. By the lee meaning we reverse the wind across it. You won't be able to see that the telltales are actually going in the opposite direction. Actually it's quite fast like that because it has its own slot. And the rolling is a little bit less. No, maybe not. We love rolling, don't we? Not.
We love sporty.
Light speed. Can't have boats overtaking us. That one over there was clearly overtaking us, and now we're there. Very solid now.
Checking on our adjustments from the yard. And the gooseneck.
Yeah, that seems to be perfect. Ideal. It's not backing or rocking around or banging around.
That catamaran over there, overtaken. the Swanahole over there, overtaken. I think we are doing a pretty good job.
And in the calm of our cockpit, as the wind is howling at force 5 to 6, we are just doing some nice speeds here. We have depth of 10. The wind is slightly on our beam, which is good because we're reversing the flow across the Genoa. And we're doing 8, surfing at 9 knots. Sailing towards the sun. The sun. We've got to get closer to the sun. Another investment from West Marine. Look at this. Perfect fit. Ta-da! You can even turn it around, look, and lock the handle in.
So what's the use of that?
Well, nothing really, but I mean, if the boat turns turtle and we're upside down completely, the cup won't fall out, which is perfect. We might fall out, but the cup won't. Just having a beautiful downwind sail here. It's calmed down a bit, the sea has at least. Now the wind's with tide. Still a bit rolly. We're thundering along 7 to 9 knots. 7 knots up the wave, 9 knots down the wave. We're even overtaking this motorboat over here. Mind you, he's probably fishing. Certainly we've overtaken every sailing boat. Adios! Beep, beep, beep. Flag, come on, play the game. I'm taking the photograph. Goodness sake. Just love the sound of that water going past the hull, especially down below. And I can just start to see the huge cranes at the naval dockyards in Portsmouth. And I think the silhouette of an aircraft carrier. We'll have to see. Certainly getting ready there a lot sooner than I expected.
Change of course. Shitting the main in. Genoa away. She wasn't exactly happy. We are going through some shoals. Main only.
Over a tunnel.
Over a tunnel.
Well, you go through it, but the master goes, we're going to go over it.
Strong wind against tide here. Lighthouse over there. Norfolk Channel. 2 knots of currents against us, so we are rather slow, only 5-6 knots speed. Naval dockyards there. Not the prettiest of sceneries. We've just passed the naval base, the biggest in the world, so they claim. It was indeed very big. More beautiful scenery. Doing only 5 knots, but it's a very calm and pleasant sail. We were tempted to switch on the engine for a moment to charge the batteries, but we'll leave that for later. More pretty scenery. Almost a bit coming into Savannah.
Stop. Move in.
Arrived in Norfolk. Getting ready to moor up. Hope we got the right place. We are now nicely moored up on this private pontoon here. Very peaceful. Right before sunset.
It's a dull old day in Virginia, outside the Norfolk Yacht Club. We just found out that this is the entrance to the inland waterway here, with mile marker 0 just down the channel there, which is why there's lots of boats coming up and down this Elizabeth River. We have our large fenders out, along with fender boards, which Gary, the Ocean Cruising Club port officer, gave us, because on there's some pretty nasty looking bolts. So we just have 2 big ones. Finally, the wind is blowing us off. The hull is still shiny. We got the salt water off of it last night. The tent is up. We're ready for off, but we're not going for another week because the weather is not good out there in the Atlantic. Meanwhile, in the cozy cockpit of the Starship Enterprise, all is peaceful as I climb through the gap. And down inside the saloon, the videoing industry is going off. How are we doing, video editor extraordinaire?
Progressing slowly.
Let's have a view around the saloon while it's looking reasonably tidy. Volvo ignition next. So to make sure the boat doesn't get stolen while we don't have keys in it, I'm taking this off. Actually, it's just so much easier to get to without the wheel. We are going to change this ignition here, which at the moment doesn't switch off properly. I have a new one here with a new set of keys. While I was changing the ignition switch, I thought I'd just for fun of it, have all the dials out, put some new bezels on them so they're a bit shiny. We like bling. And that is it. Apart from the horrible holes that Hallberg seemed to cut here. I guess they had some 4-year-olds working on the project. Look at that. And even the engine still works. Watch. And when you turn it off now, observe 1 up, it goes back to 0 by itself. No more leaving the alternator burning away. We've been in Norfolk for a day and we've been in a dilemma about wind. We thought we'd leave tomorrow, but you see the red is 20-25 knots of wind, and then it swings round. It's quite calm over the Gulf Stream here on Sunday, but then it swings round in our face as we approach Bermuda, and we end up probably for the last 24-36 hours tacking into what would be 20-25 knot winds gusting 30. Plus we've got this huge cold front coming down behind us with enormous winds. If we look at the gust map, this just above us is 60+ knot winds. So any slight movement on that and we'd be into it. So we decided we're just going to stay here for another few days and wait for the next weather window and the next one and the next one until we're comfortable. Of course, we certainly aren't comfortable going out near this, are we?
You are not going to be a happy husband.
No. Happy wife, happy life. And that wouldn't have been.
After 2 days on the boat, sun is out and we are ready to go and visit Norfolk. Very nice dock here.
Looks like we're in a city. And we are dressed for winter in everything warm that we could possibly dig out from the boat. It's a very cold northeast wind today on one of the nice streets, Granbury, in Norfolk Town, where the leaves are a nice colour, the Christmas decorations are up on the lampposts. Oh, the wind was blowing the leaves down the street. Of course, I start the camera and it all stops. Battleship Wisconsin from 1944, and it served right up until the Gulf War, where it launched Tomahawk missiles at Iraq. And those big 16-inch guns were used in the Pacific War. Quite a ship. 884 feet. A lot of steel. View down the Elizabeth River that we came down 2 days ago. We're moored just behind the Wisconsin there. This is the seafront in Norfolk. All very well manicured. And everybody is out for a nice autumn walk along the promenade, including us. And we're just asking ourselves, what the hell are we doing here in winter? Why? Where did that planning go wrong? On the other side of the Elizabeth River is Portsmouth, and just as far as you can see in this place there are naval ships, dry dock, new ships, ships waiting for repair. Wow, this country has a lot of armament.
US Custom House.
Rooftop bar for a cocktail?
Oh yes, please. We got so frozen outside and retired to seek shelter and warmth in a shopping mall. Well, we didn't spend any money for 4 days now. It was about time. What day is today?
10th of November.
Wrong. It's December. 25th of December already.
Hey, will you sit on Santa's knee and ask him for a gift?
What gift would that be?
Well, you could ask him for a weather window to Bermuda. Do you think he'd have one? And we can be out of here before Christmas.
Today we've had a serious exercise of tidying the boat. And now that it is looking so perfectly clean and tidy, we have just set ourselves a new set of KPIs. Glenn's objective is...
Not to move ever again.
No. Glenn's objective is no more tools and no more maintenance inside the boat. And a few minutes later, there he is.
You haven't given me the objective yet. I need it in writing.
And
I need the performance factor bonus what I get if I keep it tidy. Alright, carry on.
And my objective is not to make these cushions disappear again. I always put them away so that we don't get them dirty.
This morning's mission is to cut a hole in the tent and line it with leather so that both either the runner or the main sheet can come through the tent and around the winch when the weather's really not good. Because normally we have to take the tent back and then we end up wrapping it around the winch and ripping it. This is my first attempt at leather. After I've done this, I'm going to make some Lederhosens for Juana. She's always wanted a pair. So we got the rope through the hole in the right place. That took a bit of finding. But both main sheet and the runner. Now I'm going to burn the edges on it just to seal it off a bit, and hopefully we put one of these on here and one on the other side. Wide that way because the runner comes in from one side and the main comes in slightly to the right. Once you've got it round once, the second time round is just going back to the same holes. So.
Oof, aren't you dressed for the summer?
How do I look for my... This is my summer outfit. Blue water cruising, yeah?
Hobo.
My nose is still running. Almost done now with my stitching. I need to stitch with pliers because we're going through 2 layers of leather. Keeping through the same hole, it's still tight. Looks good. Dry run is one done. Comes through quite nicely. Should keep the weather out and the rope in. And more to the point, stop the tent getting wrapped around the winch. There's the last one done. Started the job at 11:30, finished at 2:30. Thought it would take an hour, took 3. But look at that. Straight in. We can be cozy inside and operating the winches. Leather on the outside and leather on the inside. What do you think of that?
Beautiful.
That should do it, shouldn't it?
That should keep the tent in one piece.
Yep. And keep the tent up, more to the point.
The daily routine lately, checking the weather forecast.
With my head torch. See if I can shed light on a weather window. No.
He's just out of the engine room, as usual. Doesn't look like we will be leaving before Friday.
You mean you just let me out of the engine room? She locked me in. Luckily I had my head torch. So I was just setting up to run a nice descaling flush on the generator. I've pulled out the impeller and there's not a lot left of it. Well, you still have 4 arms I suppose, but it wasn't going to go much further, that's for sure. I guess that's all the sand and silt that we get in the waters we've been in. Mind you, I haven't changed it since the Caribbean, so it's not done too badly. Definitely needs a new one though.
Do we have a spare?
Oh, 4 or 5.
Enough of rain over our bed. We are attacking the window today.
And we are on a timeline because it is going to rain like hell tonight. So, and if we wait much longer here, we won't have rain over us, we'll have snow. Anyway, one likes a little bit of open air, fresh air under the bed, so this full window off should really satisfy.
This isn't the emergency exit. We didn't use the hammer. It came undone quite easily, actually.
The back window out. Let's hope it's just a matter of resealing it and putting it back in. You can see very clearly where it's been escaping here. Such a thin layer of sealant. See there, look, so it's been coming in there, and over there.
Masking off.
This is the sort of stuff that was on it. I think it might actually be a liquid sealant that they put on. Although there, it looks like a tape, huh? That's a whole piece.
Hello there.
Oh, hello out there.
Would you like to escape?
Yeah, just gluing this lining back up. Then we shall seal this thing in with Sikaflex, and it won't ever come out ever again. Just to make sure it doesn't totally stick on one side, I'm just putting a thin layer of Vaseline. Not get stuck to it, because this Sikaflex, hope I got enough, is gonna glue it pretty solidly. Hopefully.
We are holding our breath.
I am. Whatever you do, it's probably going to get everywhere. When I buy these small tubes of Sikaflex, I always get a bit pissed off that they go hard before I finish them. This one, I think I'm actually going to use the whole thing.
And we had enough. Just. I guess we managed okay. We didn't get too dirty. Looks like we are going to finish just on time before the rain.
I'm working against the clock. This is the bit I like, getting covered in Sikaflex. Reminds me of the refit. Let's hope this will finally seal it.
This is the satisfying part, peeling it all off.
And the person who put it on gets the satisfaction of taking it off. Ah. Today we're having fun in the engine room again, doing a flush of the raw water system in the generator. So I have a small bilge pump in there, pumping around fluid, actually pumping it the wrong way around, and then out where the impeller goes in. First of all, I filled it full of hot fresh water, added some of this good old French DKL4, which is supposed to be for engines, to the solution, and we are pumping it around. It should turn yellow, or at least stop turning pink, when all the calcium's gone. Let's see. If this works, we shall do it to the main engine too. It's probably useless, but it says it's a thermal descaler with a built-in indicator. At the moment it's not indicating anything other than staying pink. So I'm now just about to flush the engine, main engine. I've taken the impeller out and put the hose back on. That's the hose that goes into the impeller. That's going to be the flush hose. And now we have the pipes joined up to this boiling cauldron here. I'm just putting hot water in from the hot water tank so that at least the chemical gets some hot water around it, and then I flush it like this. Trying to get it around the engine. I guess I've pretty much drained the engine now, so it takes a bit to get it all around. Okay, so we seem to have got equilibrium. Then into my little concoction here goes a gallon of red lime. I serviced a bilge pump about a month or so ago, and the one part I didn't get was these hoses that come in. So I had to coddle together a bit of a Mickey Mouse deal there. Finally, we have received from a car parts place the exact right hose to go around this exact right corner. So we're going to replace it. We've done the red lime, and this is the inside of the impeller housing. Sits in like this. Look at it, it's taking it back to bare metal. I'm wondering if in fact it's taken a little bit too much off, but not a scrap of calcium inside. Which is good. So at least we know that works.
Cleaning the engine room after all the chemicals flushed from the bucket. That's the water pump going. Next morning, weather check again.
We are here where this green dot is, and the next couple of days we have very big storm coming across, like tomorrow, and then on Friday morning we are going to jump out from here across the Gulf Stream out here on Saturday when the winds are low, and then we head all the way across to Bermuda here in what looks like fairly nice winds, and we've got to get there before this next one comes, which will be Tuesday. So that's exactly 4 days. So if we go fast, we should get there in that nice weather window. At the moment, if we look at the Gulf Stream, it's quite interesting. It's up to 4 or 5 knots here. So we'll try and cross by the Hatteras and then get out and go across to Bermuda east.
We waited almost a week for the strong winds to pass. Now we are rigging up for very light winds. Bowsprit goes back on. We suspect we might need to use the asymmetric.
Well, if we don't put it on now, we certainly can't put it on at sea, so it has to be done now, unfortunately.
After 8 days in Norfolk, weatherbound, this morning we are ready to make a move. And to motivate ourselves,
we are looking at the Google map of Bermuda. The clear blue water, the coral reefs. Oh, let's get there. 4 days. 1 day of hell, 3 days of sunshine. This is where we've been for the last 8 days. In Norfolk, on Gary and Greta's dock. Cloudy's been very happy here, next to the NOAA weather centre. And this morning, it's finally stopped raining. The sun is out, it's bitterly cold, and we are leaving. Haven't seen much of the town, but we've had lots and lots of good time inside doing jobs and admin tasks.
lines are off. And we're off. Farewell, Norfolk. Very pretty place. We felt very much at home.